be in this at any moment. They just gotta up their mental game, let their talent speak.
Amazing placement. What a shot.
That was a Yahtzee overhead.
Aspect of mental toughness here that's just so different.
I like the body language of all four players.
Oh, look at that shot! Great hands from Kiro.
Good morning and welcome to the 2023-2024 APTA Tour presented by Volley. We are live from the Cleveland Racquet Club in Cleveland, Ohio, bringing you the Cleveland Masters Men's and Women's National Ranking Tournament, a 2023-24 APTA Tour event, which is the fifth stop on the APTA Tour, with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership, the APTA national sponsors Volley and Fusion, and local sponsors Trombold Equipment, Viking Athletics, Brent Luce with Carnegie Investment Council, the Compass Group of Daymark Wealth Partners, Geraci's Restaurants, Gilmore Security, Lau Chemical, Howard Hanna, Suzanne Deering and Associates, Reset Lounge, and Weaver Fabrication. I'm Randy Markey, along with Chris Clamp here in the booth, ready to call a great match. Good morning, Chris.
How are you today, Randy?
I am ready to rock and roll here. We've got a great match coming up here. These guys are warming up. You want to tell us who is on the court?
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at Andrew Ong, who's a local on the far side in the gray sweatshirt. Andrew is living in Chicago now. Playing with him is,
Robert Stineman.
Yes, Robert Stineman. These guys are both pretty new to the Cleveland scene as far as coming to the Masters. I have not watched these guys play before, and I'm very excited to check them out right here. Tell me what you know about these guys on the near side, Randy.
You know, Louis Volclair and Mike McGrath, this is going to be the first time I'm getting to see them. I have not seen them on a live stream court. I've seen Louis play in the past, but I'm not familiar with Mike's game. This is going to be an interesting match. I think if Ong and Stineman play the way they did last night in their semifinal match, this is going to be, we're in for, buckle your seatbelts, folks. We're going to be here for a while.
Yeah, they were fantastic last night. They could do no wrong.
Super disciplined. Andrew Ong played his role beautifully, setting Robert up for his offense. He's got an ability to pick that ball up off the deck with his backhand almost at will, with really tremendous precision and power.
You know, a lot of these guys know each other. They play each other a lot, but some of these guys being relatively new, I don't know if these guys have a long history of playing each other, so it'll probably be very interesting to them as well. They'll learn a lot about each other in this match.
Well, Chris, we're here in Cleveland, which has a really strong paddle community. You're a local pro here. You've got a great membership that's excited about paddle. You have the newest of the modern-day paddle huts here in town. Tell us a little bit about that project.
I'll tell you what, so for years we had a facility that was dated, and we had a very interested contingency of paddle players. So when we got the okay to build the new facility with 4 new courts, a beautiful hut with a great space for parties and whatnot, we've country knocked it out of the park on this one, and we use it for all sorts of things, whether it's paddle, tennis, pickle, mahjong, you name it. We have all sorts of parties in that space now, so it's a lot of fun, and it's a little bit more informal than the main country club, so people really enjoy it, so we dig it.
It is a beautiful facility, and moving it where you did really kind of makes it a unique venue. It's almost like you're going on vacation.
It well, the best thing about it is that, as far as the club's concerned, it made sense for the club because it opened up that area for a beautiful short game area for putting and chipping and whatnot. So it made sense to bring all the rackets together and leave that space for the driving range area. So everybody's happy at the country club.
Yeah. Well, I know that all of us league players love when we get the opportunity to come play at the country club.
Yeah, and plus it's centrally located, so just that alone helps.
Yeah, for sure.
Will you ask if the broadcast is ready to go? Are they going to give me a thumbs up?
All right, sounds like we're getting ready to go. We've got Matt Ottaway in the chair calling this this match for us.
All good?
This is Matt's second final. Did it last year as well.
Good morning,
I watched
ladies
him
and gentlemen.
take control of a match last night when there was a little dispute. He did a very nice job.
There's no disputes in paddle.
No disputes in paddle. There's no crying in paddle.
Mike McGrath. His partner in the ag court from Stanford, Connecticut is Louis Volclair. To my right in the deuce court from Chicago, Illinois is Andrew Ong. His partner in the ag court, also from Chicago, Illinois, Robert Stineman. McGrath, Volclair have won the toss and have elected to receive.
It's tough as a Clevelander to see guys like Andrew who grew up here move away and find paddle, then come back and they have these starring roles, and somehow we missed the opportunity to get them on the court in Cleveland. So we got to start hitting up our top juniors and getting them hooked early.
Getting them hooked.
When they get back, they're ready to rock.
Let me talk a little bit real quickly about how these guys got here. McGrath and Volclair took down the Crick and Hirsch, who really had a great tournament, but it was pretty quick. And then Ong and Steinman took out our one seeds in a really disciplined match. They were really dialed in. They knew exactly what their game plan was, and they executed it beautifully. So here we go. Went for the around the net post.
We almost saw everything in the first point. Net courts, cutters, and around the post.
These guys are feeling each other out a little bit. Don't know that they're very familiar with each other. But, I can tell you that watching Ong and Steinman last night, they closed the net beautifully. Robert's, Steinman's ability to finish a point as a volleyer is remarkable, and Ong hit 4 or 5 brilliant cutters last night. Very thin.
Yeah.
To close out some points.
I'll tell you, as we look from this angle, you'll see the far side's in the shade. And here at the Racket Club, as the sun gets up, it could prove to be difficult as the match goes on. It gets really tough to see sometimes. Right now they're enjoying the roof covering it.
It's hard to imagine complaining about the sun shining in Cleveland, but one of those rare sunny days here today.
The 5 times a winter it happens, we do. Pretty true to form, everyone's starting pretty conservatively. Like you said, just filling each other out and trying to get loose in a rhythm.
There's that backhand anticipation we were talking about with Stineman. You got to be careful putting that ball to his left. He is very quick to pull the trigger and very accurate with that shot.
Yeah, he's definitely looking for it. I think he'd like that one over again. He was definitely looking for it.
It was there.
You know, maybe 15 years ago, that was the paddle's always evolving. And 15 years ago, when people started putting that second hand on the backhand and hitting some offense, that was the new offense. That was the trick. And now, when you watch these semis and finals, pretty much everyone has both their wings are offensive.
I mean, that's the first point. So I'm like, he hit a crazy thing.
It is remarkable to see how the game has changed over the last 10 years. The athleticism, the racket skills, the strategy. There's so much more offense today.
Yeah, the fearlessness when you're at the net when someone's just bringing it at you. These guys, I'm running for the hills sometimes, and these guys are just standing in there and taking it.
It does say that.
And oftentimes turning it into their own offense.
Correct.
For club-level hacks like me, it's very impressive. That's that aggressive move that we were seeing before. So we've got Volclair serving. The second game here at the finals, men's finals of the Cleveland Masters, for those of you just tuning in.
Nice lob.
Yeah.
That had some stuff.
Well, they're very aware of Stineman's weapon, and they're doing a great job of neutralizing it. Long is continuing to play a very disciplined role over there on the deuce side.
Right.
Trying to set his partner up. But Volclair and McGrath are doing a terrific job of really keeping it away from the danger zone.
And that's where you can't keep it away is on the serve. He's going to be able to find that backhand and get a good rip at it.
Nice shot into the neck.
Tremendous. Ooh, little miscommunication there. Okay, chance for Ong and Stineman to break here.
Had a great turnout here for the finals on a pretty Sunday morning. Last night was a lot of fun with the ladies' finals. Great party here at the Racket Club, as there is every year. Tremendous turnout from this very energized paddle community here. They're showing up in numbers again this morning. It's great to see.
Unbelievable. Just like that, everything's reset. They're playing like this is a big point. Looking right in that sun right now.
There's that close that I was talking about. Stineman is looking for that drive. He's begging for it.
Oh, wow.
There it is. There's that kill shot we saw last night a number of times from Ong.
And to be able to find it this early after not having too many reps yet is unbelievable, especially on a big point like that. That's the closer. I'll tell you, when you're watching a point like that, it goes to show you, like, a lot of times it looks like they're not moving much, but if you watch their footwork, they're constantly moving, and it's just that their bodies are so in control. It looks like they're kind of bored feeling each other out.
So we've gone back-to-back breaks here. Just proof positive that being the server in paddle is not the advantage that it is in tennis. It's about a 50-50 proposition.
You know, in our ever-evolving game, some of these guys are going with that underhand serve. Sometimes it's with topspin. Sometimes it's almost literally a patty cake, just trying to keep the ball below the net. Kind of a Ginsu backhand there.
Yeah, being the server is probably when you are the most vulnerable on a paddle court, because you've got a ball that's rising up above the level of the net, giving that returner an opportunity to hit an up-down shot.
You know, when you teach, beginners how to play paddle, you tell the returners, like, you do want to go offense on that return because it might be the only chance you get to go offense at that point. So you do want them to take advantage of that weak serve. Boy, he hugs that net.
Smart to let that ball go through. Seeing more offense out of Ong this morning than we saw last night for sure.
Could be the game plan, or he could just be a little juiced up and excited to play in his final. That was a tough angle. I don't think it would have paid off anyway, so it's a tough one to miss on. Tell as the get these important points, the ball speed slows down, and they're really feeling each other out, looking for that real opportunity.
There's Stineman closing that net again so beautifully. Oh, Robert.
Yeah.
We just saw McGrath do the same thing in the last point. Get a little greedy, trying to play it a little too thin.
Same angle. Great communication there.
I'd like to see Volclair and McGrath get those lobs just a little deeper. Ong is hitting those overheads from inside the service line, which is giving him way too much opportunity to get offensive with those overheads. And we just saw the result. Great hands.
Nice sneaky forehand there.
Slowing it down.
Yeah, they're talking about the sun right now and how he lost it right there.
Yeah. I think Louis also had the advantage of a little seam.
Yeah, watching McGrath and Volclair, they don't seem to hug the net nearly as much as Ong and Stineman. Good patience from the net players there.
Again, you're seeing the quick hands of Stineman at the net, his ability to close. He's doing a terrific job controlling the offense coming at him, turning it into offense, going the other way.
Yeah, you made a great point to talk about his closing and how well he's able to hug the net. But I'll tell you, I mean, it's easy to say, like, why don't we just close the net and do what he does? It's also a matter of being able to pick those volleys up. And, you know, I don't know if it's from years of tennis or just he's a great athlete, like being able to see that ball, recognize it, and get your paddle on it. It's a great skill in and of itself.
Very impressive. So, Chris, tell us a little bit about the APTA Tour, if you will. Here we are in Cleveland on the fifth stop.
Thanks. Well, the 2023-24 APA Tour. The tour is comprised of 16 tournaments, all of which will be live streamed. Of the 16 tournaments, there are 4 Grand Prix. We've got the Chicago Charities on November 4th through 6th, which was last weekend. We've got Philly Cricket Classic coming up next weekend, followed by the Detroit Invitational in January, the 27th through the 9th, and Short Hills February 10th through 12th. And the Nationals will be held at the Country Club in Brookline, Massachusetts, March 8th through 10th, on the other side of January, not to be confused with the Country Club here in town.
Not the real Country Club here in Cleveland.
Right. Depending on which one you belong to, that's which one you think is the real one. I think they have a pretty good history, though. These guys are back behind the service line on some of these, and they're going to get some opportunities to attack Long and Stineman.
Well, that sun that Mike is serving into right now is just brutal, coming up over the peak of that indoor tennis court there.
I have played a lot of Saturday and Sunday morning games here, and it's no joke. And on a day like today, like with Andrew not wearing any sort of visor or hat, it's pretty tough.
It's hard to get a hat over that big man bun.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
And I say that with a great deal of jealousy, so I'm sitting here with a bald head.
Think of all that time you saved with shampooing.
All the money I save on product.
Sneaky forehand there. It didn't look like it was going to be big, and he almost power volleyed it right to him. Took him a little by surprise there. Fantastic. That backhand is a real weapon. There's an underhand.
And, McGrath's normal serve, I don't believe, is an underhand serve. He's doing that to fight the sun. If he tosses that ball on this side of the net, he's going to be blind for the next two shots.
Correct. It's hard to walk into a firing squad not being able to pick up the ball.
Especially going into Stineman's ad side, because that backhand is a laser beam.
Correct.
Well, quick shout out here to the Greater Cleveland Platform Tennis Association, who puts this tournament on, and tournament director Leah Morris, who has been running this tournament for a number of years now and has just done a phenomenal job of making this a weekend to look forward to in the Cleveland paddle community, and attracting some real top-level talent the weekend after Charities, which is not an enviable position to be in, but I think she's made it a great experience for the players, and puts on a great tournament. Very well organized. She has a great team around her.
Yeah, because Leah does such a phenomenal job and she's so well liked, it's everyone volunteers to help out. They want to be a part of it as well.
And she and partner Brent Luce have done a phenomenal job helping to grow the paddle community here in Cleveland with, I believe, still the largest summer paddle league in the country. We have almost 250 players. This year they had 45 new players, brand new players to the sport of paddle.
I know on any given Tuesday night they have over 100 players at all the courts in town, which is, I think most cities would look at that like, that's insane. But most players, between the paddle and the social part of it, they love it. They don't miss.
I was telling Matt yesterday, played a league match on Tuesday night at a venue where we had both a D1 and a D2 match going on simultaneously, and I looked over at the D2 side of things, and I didn't know a single person, which is a great testament to the number of folks coming
they're
into
like
the game.
in their mid-20s, maybe 30 years old, so they're either getting hooked and they're going to be in the sport for a good 20, 30 years.
Those poor people don't know what they've gotten themselves into.
Well, I like to think they do, actually. Obviously with the Cleveland adding the Flats location, getting a lot of that younger crowd from the downtown area and presence on the west side, which never had any paddle presence. It's, maybe in 10 years from now, we'll have a completely different scene in a great way.
In a great way. And we owe a great debt of gratitude to the APTA, who provided, I think, the largest grant in APTA history to help build that facility down in the Flats.
Yeah.
And it's been really catalytic to what we're talking about here in terms of growing the game in Cleveland.
Well, I hope they're proud of us, too, because I know a lot of our players are supporting it well, and I know a lot of 20-somethings that are meeting and dating and finding new friends down there, so it's a whole thing. There's even an engagement or two from out of there.
Who needs internet dating? Just come play paddle.
Hey. Kind of feels like that in Cleveland. Oh.
McGrath, Volclair lead the first set, 3-2.
Stineman missed that ball.
Yeah, I think he felt he had that one.
All right, big shout out here to Volley. Volley is a proud sponsor of the APTA. As the first AI-enabled training experience, Volley modernizes racket sports by delivering the on-demand dynamic system for live play training and better workouts. Volley creates a community to connect pros and players while giving users personalized performance insights to track progress and customize their practice. Ask your pro about a Volley lesson today. For more information, visit getvolley.com. Chris, have you had an opportunity to experience Volley?
So I haven't had a chance to get on the court with it yet, but I found out quite a bit about it during this tournament, which shows you advertising works. I understand that it's a subscription based, which really makes you wonder as a tennis pro in the area. Like maybe every club should have one of these because it's almost no risk, at least as far as the way it's set up down on the flats, and you buy a subscription to use the machine. I think it'd be really exciting for us to try it at Country for sure. And apparently it can do a lot, not like your typical ball machine on the tennis court that just kind of fires one here, fires one there, and maybe you go side to side. It can really give you a workout, a dynamic workout at that.
I'm looking forward to trying it. I played a league match down at the Flats where I saw they had at least one. I think they have 2 Volley machines down there. And I have to give my buddy Joe a call and see if I can't get a session to find out what that's all about.
I'd love to be able to take one to the Country and do a little open house with it and see if we can get some interest, because I have a feeling once people saw it and saw how easy it is to use, from what I understand, with the app, it's a no-brainer. I don't think there's any technical upgrades like that in this sport of paddle in a long time.
So Ong and Stineman are trying to break back here. Get back on serve. It's tough picking that ball up out of that side. It's that half a second. Makes a big difference in your timing.
Paddle players are the only people who complain about the sun. That's a great lob right there. Just a nice steady dagger. That'll really get them impatient and open up some offensive avenues. Constantly getting back behind that service line.
Again, we saw this last night with Ong. He's done a tremendous job playing his role over there on the deuce side and keeping those guys off the net, giving Stineman an opportunity to get offensive with the player who's backed up away from the net with that forceful backhand drive of his.
McGrath and Volclair are doing a great job of hitting that neutralizing ball back. So they're literally just feeling each other out here.
You see Stineman creeping over, looking for that opportunity. He's got to be careful.
Yeah.
Although, I think Louis would like that one back.
I think that's what happens, It's just another drop in the bucket, and eventually you just miss one that you just, why did I miss that? I don't know.
And there it is. We've broken back. We're back on serve.
It's hard to call this one this early. So, Randy, who do you have in the Browns today? Think they can do it against the Ravens?
It's going to take a lot of the universe sending the right things to the Browns to pull this one off today, I'm afraid. As much as it pains me to say it. What are they, 7-point underdogs?
Yeah, I think. And in the NFL, that's a lot.
Great exchange there.
Right the way ran in front of that ball and let that ball come back to him. He knew how much stuff was on that ball.
Again, see Stineman closing the net there.
Right, you got to find the deeper player on that one.
Watch the footwork on these guys at the net. It's really, they're up and back, preparing themselves beautifully for what's coming. Unlike us old lazy guys who stand there with flat-footed.
Looking to stab at a volley. Really moving the ball around. Yep.
Great spot. That right hip chicken wing volley is a tough one.
Volclair saw that short ball and jumped on it.
About 30 guys, sorry.
Smart to let that go.
We'll be shocked if we see a ball go down the middle right now with Stineman on the deuce side.
One up.
See if these guys switch. There we go. There's the switch.
Yep, took that nice, that lob. Kind of hit the reset button for him. Nice job not overhitting that. Sometimes you get baited into going for it, and it gets to the screen and you reset, but
But he definitely set that up with that backhand. Got him backing up. Took advantage of it.
I've seen a couple of those now. That high backhand where you hit down on it is tough to pick up.
But to your point about stabbing, yeah, he's mad at himself for going for that ball.
Right. Easier to chase it.
Shot into the neck. Great weight, great tracking.
And his partner was there too, so they were locked in together. It's funny the shots we make and the shots we miss.
First time we've seen Ong back up off the net when a drive is coming.
There's that backhand. There it is. So yeah, there was an unusual let court in the middle there where the ball popped up like 3 feet in the air. Usually it dribbles right past you. And these guys got to stay with it and extend the point.
I never get that luck.
Well, they're pulling those nets tight here. Very close. Great athletic point there with two guys just battling it out right in front of each other.
McGrath did a great job of holding his ground there. I didn't see Stineman lose any of those last night.
These guys are finding those creases, aren't they? Example of that tight net.
McGrath, Volclair.
Great transition. And we're back to neutral.
Yeah. It's a nice close right there.
What a dig.
Unbelievable.
Okay. Yep. I get it. You. Yep. You. You. Yep. Come to you.
That's the danger of Stineman creeping over, looking too much for that opportunity with his backhand. He's left himself a little vulnerable to the soft ball, to the sidewire.
It's a pretty safe shot, that reset down the middle.
Both teams being very patient right now.
They're not fearing the forehand or the backhand from Ong, forehand from Stineman. Good place to put that ball right down the middle.
You. Got it. You. Yep. I go.
Again, Ong is really doing a great job with his lobs, keeping them deep, not giving them a lot of angle. But Stineman pulled the trigger and missed.
I mean, it's only 4-3. Fantastic match so far. I don't know if anyone tuned in last year, but at this point, we're about halfway through the second set. So this is fantastic. Last year, we started. The first point of the match was over 4 minutes long. It was almost like it was like an extended warm up. Everyone was just feeling each other out and getting the rhythm, and after that, it was quick. So this is complete.
Yeah, it felt like that first point last year was about 250 shots.
I started counting and I got lost around 60. Long's got to fix the do. Randy, did you put a little SPF up there on the head? Make sure you don't get a burn on a day like today.
Yeah, the risk is real.
tell you, so a lot of times in a match like this, you've got this really well-fought match, and one team is just trying to sneak ahead of the other team, and then when they do, sometimes it'll open up the floodgates. But as of right now, I don't think either team has an advantage. If anything, I think Stineman's strength will sometimes be his Achilles heel if he starts missing. So he's going to have to be careful.
Well, and that frankly has been the difference so far. Is he's missed more shots in the first 7 games of this set than he missed in an entire match last night. So
Right. McGrath and Volclair are playing a very clean match, just getting everything back and just making them get more and more impatient. But with a series of reps, you can also get hot.
here's one.
That was definitely a hot shot.
Great coverage there.
Get in there. I go.
Little confusion.
I go.
You.
What were we saying about athleticism?
Several turning defense into offensive shots there.
It's the first real offense we've seen from Hong.
I agree.
And that set that up.
Yeah, part of it's the fact that he's been on the deuce side and they've been playing the ball down the middle, so he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. So it is good to see him when he did get a chance that he went for it.
Got to keep him honest.
It's a big point here if you can get the 5-3. Put the pressure on the server. It's a really good shot right there.
Beautiful. Stineman would like that drop shot back.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if you have good enough footwork, you can almost get out of anything. I think that's the deal.
Oh, the around the net post.
We saw it.
We've seen it all today.
Hey,
Great point.
Randy, check that off. We've now seen it around the post.
Terrific point there. McGrath and Volclair are in the catbird seat here.
I'll tell you, Randy, if you notice, Ong had an opportunity for one of those amazing cutters that he hits, but, being a break point, he didn't quite hit it as thin as he has in the past when he had the confidence, when you have that 40-15 lead. And it didn't work out. Take an extended break. They're making the server think about it a little bit. He takes a practice serve to kind of thwart the nerves.
We were talking earlier about the courts down in the flats and the desert of courts west of the river. And Sean Richardson, chairman of the Flats Platform facility, just sent me a note letting me know that Westwood Country Club on the west side is building some courts, which is exciting. So
I did hear that.
That Flats facility seems to have been catalytic in bringing the game west.
If you build it, they will come. That's a fantastic roller right there. Ong still looking at the corner as if it hits something. I tell you, McGrath and Volclair are playing just a really, really clean, smart match. I don't see a ton of highlights per se. The highlight could be winning the set 6-3. Now that would have been a highlight.
That would have been a highlight. But again, I think that the real difference here has been if Stineman can find his groove, I think this momentum changes dramatically. Because he really is a force when he's
Yeah, he can be a
when he's
difference
dialed
maker.
in.
He can be a difference maker, but
And he's not playing poorly.
no.
He's just missed a couple that he did not miss last night.
There's that thin one.
Good shot. That's okay. That's okay. Good drop on.
No, he's not playing poorly. These guys are, if anything, just making him once in a while try something a little extra because sometimes you have to win the point 2 and 3 times, and that gets frustrating. I know from experience. Now, Randy, a difference between paddle and tennis is, in tennis, as if you're up 5-3, you don't mind losing this game because you feel pretty confident about serving it out. And in paddle, as you said, maybe it's a 50% endeavor, so
Yeah.
you don't know. It's certainly no gimme.
And momentum shifts in this game are,
More than any other game I know.
yeah.
You know, when a team gets the nick, they seem to hit it 5 times. If the team gets a leg court, they seem to hit it 10 times. It's tough to be on the other end of that.
So, Louis is hitting those overheads to Steinman's left side, but he's doing it in a way that's keeping it from his weapon, which is something those of us who are trying to improve can learn a lot from. He's being very aware of the power that backhand represents, but he's doing a phenomenal job of keeping it at a height and with enough junk on it
Right.
that Steinman can't tee off on it.
And, it's definitely a warm weather paddle day as far as paddle people are concerned. The ball's moving.
Let's see if Steinman can hang in there.
There's some of that momentum we talked about.
Back to deuce.
Sometimes, like I said, you get one leg court and they come in droves.
No.
That was a tight call.
As tight as the nets.
Look, Lou.
Dodged a bullet. In that last fault, you could see Ong and Steinman looking to the ump. And for those of you watching at home, the umpire's role is to only overturn a call if it is one that is definitive. If he isn't in a position where he feels like he very clearly saw it is the player's call, and he let that call stand. Looked from here, frankly, like that ball was in. But
We'll pull out shot spot later, and
yeah, the chase review.
maybe we'll have to come back to that point, start over again. It's a great reset there. Just get everything slowed down. Look at that cover. That could have been instant offense there. Another transition, and we're back.
All right.
Big point right there.
Wow.
That was definitely.
And there's the set.
That was worthy of a fist bump for sure. Those guys are psyched after that one. They got chased off the net. They got to come back in.
And we're going to take a quick break here and hear from our sponsors.
Ready for a whole new training experience? Welcome to Volley. At Volley, we've developed the first AI training system for racket sports, providing pros with the advanced teaching tools they've been waiting for, and giving players a new way to level up their game and enhance their time on the court. Ask your pro about a Volley lesson today and learn what Volley can do for you. We'll see you on the court.
And welcome back to the Cleveland Masters here in Cleveland, Ohio at the Cleveland Racket Club. I'm Randy Markey here with Chris Clamp. We have just finished the first set where Mike McGrath and Louis Volclair have taken the team of Stineman and Ong 6-3. Frankly, that score is not reflective of how tight this match has been.
No, well, we've had a ton of what I consider big points, a lot of break points, a lot of competitive points that, there was definitely a consequence whether a team won or lost. So, we've had about 15 important points so far in one set. So I feel like we're getting ready for a bigger ride coming for the rest of the match.
What do you want to see from Ong and Stineman as we go into another set here? Are there any adjustments, you think?
It's interesting because I don't know what they can do. Not that they can't do anything, but right now McGrath and Volclair are doing such a great job of just being steady. And so I feel like they're making Ong and Stineman go for some shots that maybe they're pulling the trigger a little early, or they're trying to cut it a little too fine on the sidelines, and they're making some mistakes they don't usually make. So, they can either hit better shots, which is difficult to do, or also really take care of their mistakes, and that's just going to make for even a longer, more competitive match.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Volclair and McGrath have been keeping Ong and Stineman, itching to pull a trigger, and they've not given them so many opportunities that when the opportunity presents, sometimes I feel like they're forcing it.
Totally. I think that they've been able to, reset that ball with that middle dump over and over again, and Ong just doesn't have much offense, not that anyone would right there, and Steinman's big shot's his backhand, so that middle's, it's a safe shot you can hit over and over and over and over again, and if there's not much retaliation, all it does is get you itching for something that you're looking for on your strength. But like you said, if you pull the trigger, you're in trouble if you don't make it.
And you see Stineman inching his way towards that hash mark. which is leaving him vulnerable to the soft dump, to the side wire, which they've caught him a couple of times
and
out of position.
And, you know, he's been athletic enough and tough enough to get it, but it just adds the frustration.
But he hasn't been able to do anything.
Yeah, right. It adds the frustration, and it'll make you tired over the long run having to quickly get over there and recover.
It's a great angle to watch Ong go to work here in the deuce corner. He tracks the ball beautifully, gets that paddle set.
I feel like Ong and Stineman have to stay close in the beginning of the set because I feel like if they let McGrath and Volclair get ahead, it's going to be tough to work your way back when you're going for bigger shots than your opponents. The mistakes will add up, so they need to get a good start here.
That's a great move.
Yep.
Got him a little disorganized there, took advantage.
It's tough to make a volley when your heels are on the service line.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe that's the new plan a little bit, a little bit of blitzing.
Great recovery.
There it is. Very pleasant way to challenge a call with respect.
You see Ong and Stineman switching both in the backcourt and at the net to stay in their preferred positions. Keeps them organized, makes decision-making a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a great term, to stay organized. Fantastic love.
Tremendous transition paddle going on here. They both want it.
There you go.
And you can see right there that you know, when Stineman is dialed in with that offense, he's a force to be reckoned with, and he hit some great shots in that game. Really put these guys on notice that he's not putting up with what he put up with in the first set.
You know, the best players will use this opportunity as a restart. I mean, nobody wants to lose the first set 6-3, but they're happy to start at love and get that lead back.
He certainly seems to have found that gear that he was looking for. Yeah, that sun is a factor.
Yeah, I'm seeing some adjustments, though. On the last 2 points served and did not come to the net, so it's interesting to see. Just trying some different strategies.
And they have turned up the volume on the offense. They're playing a much faster game right now than they did in the first set.
Yeah.
And it seems to have caught McGrath and Volclair flat-footed. I don't
Yeah.
think that's going to last.
No, you know, it's a series of adjustments, and then they'll adjust back, hopefully. And
That's a great return.
big return right there. Very little time to soften up the hands at the net.
They're going to look for the opportunity to switch again at the net. There we go. Great exchange there.
That time the net did not help him. Most let courts work in your favor, but that one pushed the ball wide.
Volclair did a nice job of anticipating those hard cutters from Ong.
And I'll tell you, I think they could do a little more offense, Volclair and Wagner. So I'd like to see him go for that just to keep the other guys a little honest. Great close.
Come on, let's go.
There was that adjustment I was talking about. McGrath and Volclair have countered the speed up of the game immediately with a speed up of their own, and got them right back in this game.
Oh, he jumped it.
There it is.
He had it.
All right, so Ong and Stineman have managed to come out in the second set and jump to a 2-0 lead, which is just what they needed. That first set, again, was a much closer set than the score says it was.
Yeah.
But they definitely have made some adjustments here. And
When you play with a 2-game lead, maybe it'll open it up a little bit. They'll feel good about their chances knowing they've got 1 or 2 to give. So when you're constantly down a break or, you know, serving to stay on serve, things are a little tougher.
Go, go.
Okay.
And again, I think in this second set, we're seeing Robert Stineman has kicked it into a different gear. He's managing to, he's found that backhand. And he's gotten much more aggressive. And we've seen more offense out of Ong in this set than we have in the last 3 sets we've seen him play. Ong ran that down beautifully.
Wonderful hands.
Wow. Great communication from Ong and Stineman. And we're back to neutral.
Oh, that's big time.
That's a great shot.
Randy, you know what shot we saw in the middle there was we saw a really hard roller that came flying back towards the net. And like 12 years ago, that was like a big adjustment. The game made people were hitting that shot. And then as players got used to going forwards and turning it back into offense. You don't see it as much, but yesterday I saw a lot of players going back to that really hard roller off the wires and catching people off balance or even hitting them. Yeah, their body, look at their body English right now. They're feeling it.
Good shots.
They're in a better mental place at the moment.
That's a great move by Stineman.
Yeah, we've been using that word momentum a lot, and right now you can feel where it is. Whereas when no one had the momentum, it favored McGrath and Volclair because they were willing to put in the hard work and just grind every point. Right now, these guys are winning points in bunches because they're pushing a little bit and pressing, and things are going their way, and they're collecting them in bunches.
Yeah, they have definitely turned the volume up. You know, I would not have said that a faster pace would have benefited or given the advantage to Stineman and Ong, but it's clearly...
it's kind of a high-risk, high-reward situation, but I think the reward's there right now. Now, if I'm McGrath and Volclair, you know, I'd make this change over a little bit longer. I'd tie my shoe, ask a question, get a little stretch in there, just see if I can slow down their momentum a little bit, like any NBA coach would call a timeout right now.
And it looks like that's exactly what's happening. We're having a little conference.
They may be listening to the feed.
Volclair has his earpiece in.
Some good teamwork there when he just let that ball go to his deuce court partner.
Guys are on top of the net.
I gotta do better.
I'll tell you what, yeah, that they're on top of the net, but McGrath hit a great deep lob, which set up the next drive, and they got to take over. So, I mean,
I think the other thing that's interesting to see is you see McGrath kind of getting off the court and allowing Louis to do what he needs to do at the net with those overheads, staying out of Volclair's way as he's going for those big cutters.
I know Volclair like to have that one over again.
I like the move.
Again, we use that term, high risk, high reward. You catch it a little late and it sails on you. That's fantastic right there. Okay. Important game there. Did not want to get out.
Volclair get on the board in the second set.
did not want to go, as close as this match has been. 3-1 is certainly not insurmountable. They get a good hole here. We're back in it. Nice aggressive two-handed return there.
Yeah. Again, we're seeing more offense out of Ong than we have been. Great hand.
Jeez Louise. Nice shot, Mike.
Both guys taking responsibility for that one. That's it, push him back. Great reset right there.
Great close.
Interesting forehand there, almost like a little underspin on it.
Can't play offense on that. Hey, going across.
With that underhand serve, it makes me wonder if it's almost smarter play to stay back
Side back.
instead of having to run into that firing squad, as I keep saying.
Yeah, because he's not hitting that roller that stays low. That ball is still coming up above the level of the net.
Correct.
I'm surprised he hasn't paid for it more dearly, frankly.
I had to do a double check and see where that landed.
All right, McGrath and Volclair are 1 point away from getting right back into this match and changing that momentum we were talking about.
Yeah, they stayed back on that serve this time.
There we go.
It's the last time you saw like 7 straight drives from the baseline.
But as you watch the body language on Ong and Stineman, you can see that took some wind out of their sails. They were they had very positive energy on the last changeover, and we're seeing a very different mentality out there right now.
Yeah, it looks like
Have to keep an eye on what happens with this momentum shift.
McGrath and Volclair are feeling it again. I think it's tough when you play the way they're playing, a little steadier and whatnot. So you're going to have some ups and downs as far as when your opponents are feeling it and whatnot. So they kind of withstood the storm for a moment. And maybe it's leveling out again. I mean, every game has been competitive, period. So even when someone had a 3-love lead, certainly no indication that the set's over. Definitely some strategizing going on here. That's a real nice play right there. Good sneaky stuff. He hasn't done that much, so nice wrinkle. How about that? Apparently that one grabbed pretty good because it went off the side of the paddle and out of the court, so that thing must have had some extra spin on it.
In collaboration with the APTA, Fusion is at the forefront of personalized gear and apparel. Backed by a team of seasoned industry experts, we provide exclusive access to high-end products from top-tier retail brands, all poised for customization with your club logo, team name, or corporate branding. Our streamlined approach guarantees a hassle-free shopping experience, complemented by custom online storefronts and swift ordering. Visit www.gearbyfusion.com and let Fusion seamlessly weave your branding into elite merchandise. Chris, you know a little something about Fusion.
I mean, 90% of my outfits are from them.
And you look fabulous.
I'm working on the record for how many quarter zips a person can collect, and I love it. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, Patty was giving me a hard time last night during the ladies' finals about my jacket problem.
I heard. You're not alone, friend. Although I imagine yours is worse. Not only do they have great products, they've helped me out in a pinch a few times, so their customer service is equally as good.
What an exchange.
Yeah, this is one of those points where, sometimes you have to win the point 2 and 3 times to win a point.
That's what we're talking about there again with the discipline. It was soft, flat, resets down the middle.
It's a great.
He did jump on the one where he tried to hit some spin, and it ended up going short. So the flat one deep seems to be really neutralizing these guys.
That's good stuff right there. And when you hit that much spin, it just fizzles out on the wire and dies.
Don't think McGrath caught Stineman off guard. You think he was looking for that? Great dig.
Unbelievable hands. Boy, some of the spin is in the last game or two. It's starting to have an effect.
It's warming up out there, which is having an impact on the ball's action.
I think you can see that big time here. Okay.
It's nice to get some warm weather in November in Cleveland.
I know the golfers are happy. Extend that season another month.
Last year at this time, there were 3 inches of snow on the ground, and it was freezing.
That
Great
spin.
shot. Right at his body.
Well, we had a couple inches on Halloween, so we've already had it. And of course, it was Halloween.
It's never nice on Halloween.
It never is.
Kids putting down jackets on over their costumes.
Nothing worse than hiding your costume when you think that you're the coolest thing out there. Great move.
Wow. McGrath did a great job staying in there.
Kill or be killed. Great hands. Boy. I'd like to find out what the temperature is right now, because like all of a sudden it's just changing. I mean,
We really have seen a big change in the last 20 minutes or so.
These guys are hitting cutters and they're like sticking to the screen now, whereas before, just playing off it normally. And our technical score just said it's 46 degrees and sunny, so that's the magic number, 46.
That was nice and thin, but McGrath cracked it down beautifully.
So Randy, if it's 44 degrees, put that spin away.
46 is the number?
Yeah, 46 is the number.
Well, the good news is it won't matter because I don't have it. So
Neither did Ong on that point. I'm sorry, Andrew, but you tried to cut it a little too thin there.
a little bit.
And I've been there, so I get it.
Hey, McGrath, Volclair, they trail in the second set.
I'll take a moment here to tell you about the Team Nationals, 2024 Team Nationals, April 6th and 7th. The women's location is in Chicago, which they certainly don't have a lack of courts in Chicago. The men's location is New Jersey. It's open to all PTI levels. Teams must be made up of 6 players or more. Last year's Team National was highly successful. 410 women participated in New Jersey, which was a 46% increase from the year before, which pretty amazing. And 350 men participants in Chicago, which was a 75% increase in participation from 2022. So we're talking about an event that's picking up steam.
It is. And, the beauty of that event is that it really does give players of every level an opportunity to get a taste of some competition, get together with your friends, put a team together, and go out and play folks from other cities.
I was just going to ask, is this a team you can just put together yourself with buddies?
You can. I think you have to be within about 15 points of PTI on the same team, but you can put together a team and go out and get some competition in a new city, get to see some players from other locations, and make some new friends. As we were talking about, paddle is such a social game. Pat was talking about how the party after the women's was just a great dance party.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, first of all, you're traveling with your friends, so you've got a built-in group, and then you're meeting all these new people that you're friends with. It sounds like my kind of event. Got to start putting my list together. Tell Kelly I'll be gone that weekend. Okay.
Shout out to our local women's team that went to Team Nationals and came home with the trophy.
Who's on that team, Randy?
Yeah, our tournament director, Leah Morris, who's the captain of that team.
I like that move right there. He didn't even turn. He knew his partner was going to take it, even though it was on his side. I hope they won a free vacation or something for that win. That's large.
I know they killed a couple of bottles of wine. That's all I know for sure.
Great coverage.
But there's the value of a great lob, right? They created some confusion and a little miscommunication, got them out of position. And that just little bit of chaos caused not only a transition, but an error in the backcourt. Smart to let that ball go through rather than stabbing at it like I would have.
Yeah.
Long sort of did a half blitz there and almost got himself in trouble.
Yeah.
In no man's land.
Sometimes if you don't get in, they call it no man's land for a reason.
Great lob.
Fantastic.
Way to close, but he just missed it.
I don't think he could have put it in a better spot. That's the one spot he couldn't cover. Right on his right shoulder. Well done, Mr. Volclair.
Again, for those of you who might be lost on Ong's lobs are just brilliant.
Yeah.
Just keeping those guys behind the service line.
It's a pretty good one, too, though.
Yeah. Beautiful move to close the net there. McGrath able to track it down. Beautiful transition.
You feel like, the score and the fact that each team's almost won the point once or twice themselves, these points really get important at this stage of the game.
You called it.
It's, when you've won the point twice, but they've managed to get it back and you lose it, that's a big opportunity cost. We've seen so few return misses that just felt like, whoa,
What just happened?
Yeah. Oh, that's nice right there.
I got it. Yeah.
Nothing great footwork can't bail you out of, though.
Ong got lucky there that he
Sure
hit
did.
him. Oh, great lob. All right, Ong and Stineman, 5-3 here in the second set, in a position to take us to 3 sets. Chris,
I'm all for it.
We talked about it at the beginning. We could be in for a long one here.
One thing's obvious: both teams are taking every point seriously. We have not had every point has developed. There's been drama and most points. Very few one and dones.
Ong's got to be careful with that move. 3 times so far, he's almost gotten himself in a pickle.
Good spin right there.
Little confusion again.
Well, it's a well-placed shot. It's either a really tough one for the deuce court player to have that inside backhand, or the ad court player is going to run over there and take the forehand. So just a little bit of confusion there.
Court. Gotta go, Bob.
Yeah. So what do you think? We've seen him jump the route a few times. Has it been working out too much? Not so much.
Not so much.
I think it does against most players, but I think these guys are ready for it. And then because they're getting their panel on it, they're in a vulnerable spot. Okay.
It worked out that time.
That was a little different.
It was a little different. Blitzing off his partner's return. They're both doing it now.
Yeah,
They're putting some pressure on him.
And they did that in the beginning of the set, so maybe that's the play is don't do it all the time. Just pick and choose your spots.
Oh, to be young and fast. All right, there it is. We have split sets here at the Cleveland Masters in the men's finals, and we are going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors.
Okay, guys, I want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Viking, from the sleek, cutting-edge design of the Volclair lineup to a ball preferred by the best, but still used by all. Viking has not stopped revolutionizing, adapting, or producing over the last 30 years. No luck to tuck the helmet and horns away when it gets warm. Make sure you go to check out Viking's cutting-edge pickleball lineup, offering a perfect balance of power and control, while providing maximum spin and touch with the carbon fiber fine grit finish.
It's all about the carbon fiber, Chris.
It's what I hear. I will say this: we had a pickleball pro this summer, and it freed me up a lot, like to stay on the tennis and paddle court versus going into a sport where I didn't know as much about, and it was very well received. So if you can find an enthusiast who's willing to teach and be around for the league play, I would highly recommend it.
And I can tell you, having a Viking pickleball racket myself, There is a difference.
Okay.
Yeah. Got great touch, perfect weight.
Do you have a pick of a PTI?
I do not.
I think it exists, but I don't believe it's called the PTI. But I'll tell you, they're as passionate about their sport as we are about ours.
They are. And I think if you're an orthopedic surgeon, you are also passionate about it because it is quite a gift.
I believe my chiropractor, who I think I see the same one your wife sees. I've seen her out there plenty of times. He has mentioned people in pickleball are keeping him busy as well as paddle. As if they need to be any busier, right?
Well, for those of you just joining us, welcome back to Cleveland and the Cleveland Masters. We're here with the men's finals at the Cleveland Racket Club. We are split sets here between Andrew Ong and Robert Stineman versus Mike McGrath and Louis Volclair. It's been a terrific match so far. Lots of momentum swings. We've seen some great changes in tactics and strategy. Lots of adjustments made by both teams. And we're in for a doozy here in the third, I believe.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know who to put my money on.
If Stineman and Ong can keep their energy as positive as it is right now and play with the, with the offense and the precision that they played in that last set.
And that's easy to say, but a lot of that energy comes because of success. So, like, if you haven't had it in a while, it's hard to bring it. So it's almost like you have to force it a little bit. Even if things aren't going your way, you got to stay upbeat, positive, giving your partner that high five, words of encouragement, and then, like anything, when things are going your way, just press. Just keep going, let it keep rolling your way and see if you can.
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment there where we were concerned that Ong and Steinman's energy had shifted negative, and they pulled it back together.
They did. Tried to bait him into a forehand there, but he didn't bite.
Yeah, Ong's not hitting that cutter with quite as thin as he was after whiffing that one. We'll see. He's now gotten 3 or 4 in that worked out okay. See if he can get it a little thinner.
Yeah, when you go for that shot, you're trying to end the point. Otherwise, you would just put it back into play and keep going. You're looking to end it.
Like he was just trying to build a little more confidence back in that shot.
Mm-hmm. That's a great lob right there. I'll tell you, as tough it is to hold, if these guys could hold and go up 1-0, that would be a big confidence builder. Especially on what we consider a warm day. It's almost 50 degrees and the ball's moving, so it's tough to serve and keep that ball unhittable. Got him.
Taking dead aim.
Well, That's a big time return. That is a somewhat off the rise, down into the court, and then it hits the nick. What are you going to do? All right, big point here.
Well, he caught the nick with the serve, and Louis was
Yep.
dancing around and found himself in trouble.
They were behind the 8 ball early on that one.
All right, well, Ong and Stineman have been able to maintain some momentum here coming into the third set. Again, keeping that offensive press going.
Right. I feel like if they are going to win this, that's what they needed, was a good start like that. He's back to the overhand serve. Fantastic move right there. It's so important to take advantage when you do have that sliver of advantage. You got to take advantage of it, otherwise you just prolong the point another 20 shots. And Randy, you can see with their court positioning, like they're looking to take advantage inside the blue. They're not looking just to take big ground strokes from behind the court. They're looking to actually take it, blitz them, and put pressure on them.
Yeah, they're both playing with their feet on the baseline.
Taking chances, coming in a little bit. Maybe here. Nope, good reset.
Good swing.
That's the shot they've got to be careful with. He caught the tape there, and it worked out for McGrath and Volclair. But you got to be careful with that ball off the deck with Stineman on his backhand side.
Another time that he's come in behind that underhand serve, and it hasn't worked out.
Great dig there.
Nice dig. That's nice.
You go.
Again, you see Ong and Stineman really looking to take the opportunity on a short ball. They're both playing right on that baseline.
Yeah, you see him jumping in like that and then recovering when it doesn't work out.
Gotta go.
McGrath did a great job of withstanding that quick barrage.
Sorry. No, you're good. Go up.
there it is. You got to be careful with that ball. Put it on his left hip. It's coming back. And it's coming back fast.
Sometimes it's better to be in the booth. Now you'll watch. I mean, I know you guys were talking yesterday about Ong's forehand. Like, look, he's setting up for an offensive backhand here. Oh, he did run around it, but every time he's coming behind that underhand serve, he's taking it as an inside-out two-handed backhand.
That is his preferred offensive shot. His forehand is not his preferred position. There we go. So Ong and Stineman are able to maintain some momentum here going into the third set. Going up 2-love.
That was an uncharacteristic mistake right there. Reaching through the forehand and pressing it wide. They've been very disciplined so far, so we've not seen that type of mistake out of those guys. Volclair wishes
Does
he had
seem
that
like
back.
they're feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
Getting a little tight, maybe. See if they can pull one off here and get a break. This feels like a really important game for Ong and Stineman if they're going to pull this out.
Absolutely.
Great hands from Stineman there. Stay on that point.
Oh, boy.
I like the move from Ong. Just got a little unlucky there, caught the tape.
Finally got what he wanted. He just caught it a little late. Great shot.
So, Chris, have you gotten through all your kids' Halloween candy yet?
Believe it or not, the sun still exists.
You've been controlling yourself?
Try my best.
Yeah, my kids always used to wonder where it all went. In my belly. Their Butterfingers would miraculously disappear overnight. I don't know what it was.
Right. My youngest has celiac, so I used to always, I'd take care of the gluten ones for her.
That's very kind of you.
Yes.
Very thoughtful. You're a good dad.
Now she's old enough she knows which ones to take and which ones to avoid, so she doesn't have to give any up.
Very disappointing.
Boy, it just feels like the momentum is tipping a certain direction right now. Yeah.
Way to close the net there. All right.
That's bottom spine. You're not getting that.
Ong and Stineman rolling to 3-love in the third.
It's tough. Like, McGrath and Volclair have done a great job of managing the game and creating these long points and long games, which is kind of, when it's been working out, that's been in their favor. But now that things are getting quicker, it seems to favor, as you mentioned earlier, sometimes you don't always think that's the better thing, but this time it's definitely favoring Ong and Stineman.
And, Stineman it really was having trouble in the first set finding his precision with that backhand, but he is no longer struggling, and it is proving to be a problem for McGrath and Volclair.
Yeah, and as I think you see these guys are kind of jumping the routes a little bit, like getting in early, and I think that's kind of messing with McGrath and Volclair, so they're almost maybe second guessing some of their shots, like trying to make sure it's a little extra deep here and there. So I think they're getting in their heads a little bit, but they can withstand the storm if they are still willing to grind it out and try and make the points go longer and the games go longer. I mean, if this match is still on in about 45 minutes from now, I mean, I think that'd be a great thing for McGrath and Volclair versus Ong and Stineman. So he's got to turn the stopwatch on now and say, let's make this go for another hour. That's not.
I don't know if I can make it another hour, Chris.
Ong just hit that shot, and he does not want to be here in another hour. That was fantastic. You know, on the WTA circuit, the women's tennis, that would have been a 30-minute bathroom break for someone to go in the locker room and slow everything down. And the sportsmanship in this match has been top-notch. Look at that beautiful two-hander, stepping around a forehand to take a two-handed backhand on the deuce side.
He's feeling it right now.
He's feeling it. Things are definitely tipping in their direction at the moment.
Again, you see very positive body language there.
Yeah.
And remarkably, you know, McGrath and Volclair have not shown any letdown. Their energy has really not changed.
No, in fact, if anything,
They've been very tough.
They've been very steady, their energy. Like their highs and lows, you can't read their body language and tell whether they're winning or losing, which I think is pretty impressive. But then you see shots like that, which they haven't been trying, so you're wondering if they're pressing a little bit.
You got to do something.
Yeah, they tried that cutter, and it didn't work so hot.
We're starting to see Ong really take dead aim at that nick. Oh, that's a great
spin.
shot. He caught the seam as well, which helped him out quite a bit.
Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I always aim for the seam, don't you?
Oh. I aim
Because
at
I've
it.
got that kind of precision.
I aim at a lot of things and don't hit it. Usually it's just the blue.
All right. For love. Something's got to change here for Volclair and McGrath quick. Or this is going to get away from him.
Perhaps a lake effect snowstorm. Great get. McGrath does have some hands.
Little cat and mouse here.
Yep.
See who's going to pull the trigger first, who's got the shot clock. Probing drive. And there it was.
That's what he wanted.
I like the decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there was the time to pull it.
Nice.
Absolutely. He's not mad about that. You know what? That was a good mix-up, you know. Turn that blitz around a little bit. Goes both ways, you know.
Not sure driving that ball was a good idea anyway with Stineman all over the net.
Kind of a big miss there.
Haven't seen much of that out of Ong today.
Not at all. And I think that speaks to the way they play their roles really well, those two. As long as the steady player, Stineman, can go for it a little bit more. You know, if Ong tries to take those chances and if Stineman's off, it gets out of control quickly, but they just get it.
That's a great return.
Sure was.
Louis done a nice job of fighting off that kick serve to the wire and really doing quite a bit of offense with it.
Yeah, I think if you see like typical league play, you would see guys letting that go into the wire and just playing back a defensive shot, whereas this next level, these guys are able to take a defensive situation and turn it around on some offense.
All right, so McGrath and Volclair have managed to get on the board here in the third set. See if they can keep some energy up. And
yeah, it's kind of like Custer's last stand here. They have to win one of them. If they don't, it's a long ride home. Yeah, it's funny that as soon as he went to the overhand serve, Andrew went to the left and looked for a forehand there.
what an exchange. Jeez.
Yeah.
Steinman's hands are really just next level.
It was worth a fist bump.
Great play.
Good deep volleys, just kind of keeping them at bay. Look at that. That's good stuff. It earned them the switch they wanted.
See these guys not doing much of anything with these overheads, just playing them low and slow down the middle. There it is.
There it is.
And he missed it.
Like I said before, it's amazing the shots we can make, and it's amazing the shots we can miss in this game. Oh, good return. I'll tell you, like, you know, bringing it back to like the reference to these professionals versus the club players. That guy was McGrath just let that ball go. He knew he'd have to get it behind him. Like you and I would like we use that term, we'd stab at it. They just let it go. They know they can go back and get it.
I'm just too lazy to run back and get it.
Love your honesty.
Maybe in the first set, but
Yeah. Those pregame jitters going still. Fueled by anxiety.
well, my age catches up with me by the second set.
Here we go, 5-1. Nice return right into the body.
Caught that while he was still moving forward. Trying to close the net off.
It's 2 in a row.
Well, we got a little piece of that one, huh?
That's one way to change the momentum. Knock a tooth out.
What great
It
hands.
just gave him nothing to work with. I think the ball was at the bottom of the net, 1 inch off the net. Like, you can't do anything with that ball.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than
Yeah,
good.
I mean, that's how you know things are going your way at this time. You know, a little bit of momentum, and that ball's going to go your way.
The sun in that corner is brutal. If I were these guys, I'd be hitting every shot into that corner.
Burn their retinas out and see if you can.
That's a great move right there. All right, we're at match point here. Let's see if Stineman can pull this out.
You think you're doing the right thing, you're letting that one go to the wire, and then it hits that bottom structure. Game over on that one. Does not hit the wire.
And there it is.
There it is.
We have ourselves a 2023 Cleveland Masters Championship team
fantastic.
of Ong and Stineman. What a great three-set match, Chris.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
Truly remarkable swings and momentum. Great adjustments on both sides of the net. You know, McGrath and Volclair played super steady and stuck to their game plan, but Ong and Stineman adjusted really well and changed the energy and the speed of that game.
Absolutely. I think if someone tuned in for all three sets, they got a good learning experience about how to try to ride the momentum and, you know, deal with the adversity and find ways to make it work, because there are a couple times it looked like it might be slipping away after the first set, but this guy stuck with it. Matt Ottaway coming on down from the...
All right.
He called a great match today.
He did. Well, folks, thanks for joining us here at the 2023 Cleveland Masters from Cleveland, Ohio. It's been a joy to do this with you, Chris.
Thank you. My pleasure. This is fun.
And I believe that is a wrap.
Ready for a whole new training experience? Welcome to Volley. At Volley, we've developed the first AI training system for racket sports, providing pros with the advanced teaching tools they've been waiting for, and giving players a new way to level up their game and enhance their time on the court. Ask your pro about a Volley lesson today and learn what Volley can do for you. We'll see you on the court.